Welcome back to Invest Global. Today we're doing a deep dive into Polygon, formerly known as MATIC. The ticker symbol is still MATIC, but in today's video that is not necessarily the focus. We're not worried about the ticker symbol, whether it's called MATIC, whether it's called Polygon. What's most important is the use cases, and they are really innumerable in this case. There's so many incredible decentralized applications in the Polygon ecosystem. If you didn't know, people are earning up to 20% APY just on stable coins using Polygon, using these incredible things you can do on layer 2. And when you contrast this, all the fees that you have with Ethereum layer 1, it's a massive problem, right? So I think this was the biggest thing that we saw in the bull run, really, when it popped up and we were hitting those highs, is everybody was complaining about gas fees, right? It was gas fees. Oh, they're too high. If you're trading with a relatively low amount of capital, you're not going to even be able to trade. I mean, I was still enjoying all the trading opportunities at that point in time, but if you're just trading with $100 and the fee is $70, well, are you really going to do it? But you look at things, alternatives like Binance. The thing with Binance, the problem is you're really sacrificing the decentralization, right? So it's a lot more centralized. You look to other ecosystems like Solana, Cardano, and Polkadot, not as developed, not as robust as Ethereum is. So essentially what Polygon allows you to do is have these ZK rollups where the problem with essentially scalability, just to break this down very, very simply, is you can think about the block size, right? So you can think about the block size like a spreadsheet. You have just a certain amount of cells in a spreadsheet. Essentially what you can do with the rollup is take one individual cell on layer 1 and have it represent like 100 cells on layer 2. So all those 100 cells on layer 2, Polygon in this case, you're able to have all these transactions with incredibly cheap fees, really fast throughput, and all of those wrap up, called the ZK rollup, and put into one individual cell on layer 1. So it's still validated on the layer 1. All those transactions are still confirmed, but you're able to scale this up. So you're taking one of those cells where in the past, that would have just been one individual transaction. You're able to wrap up a bunch of those, hence the name a ZK rollup or wrap up. So basically they're describing themselves as the Ethereum's Internet of Blockchains, so IOB, just like the Internet of Things. We're going to be talking about smart key. Actually, that video is probably already out now. But the point here is, and I really like what they lay out on the website, which we'll talk about more about the actual token here. And some different decentralized applications on here and some of the passive income opportunities. But the challenge and solution, I really like how they laid this out. So you can see you have all these different blockchain networks, right? So all of them here, you have Quorum, you have like these different ETH forks, right? You have Polkadot, you have all of these different, right? Cosmos, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, whatever it is. This is just like a drawing and representation of it. And essentially there's this problem with joining these all together. That's what Polygon does. So the challenge right here is Ethereum is a blockchain development platform of choice because it has that kind of Metcalfe's law going for it. I made a video on this. Sorry about that. I was interrupted. Okay, so as I was talking about, essentially you have this problem where there's not this interoperability. That's what this really does. So this is a blockchain platform. It has that kind of a network effect, the Metcalfe's law, as I was saying. But the problem is low throughput, poor UX, so gas, delayed, proof of work, finality. Moving to kind of ETH 2.0, hopefully some of these things are going to be fixed, but still, the use case of Polygon will be there even with layer 2. Maybe I can do a separate video on this. The use of Polygon will be there even with ETH 2.0. And no sovereignty, so the shared throughput / clogging risks. Tech stack is not customizable and governance dependent. So many projects are exploring Ethereum compatible blockchains as a way to mitigate these limitations while still leveraging Ethereum's thriving ecosystem. However, there's no specialized framework to build such blockchains nor a protocol to connect them. This introduces significant development challenges and causes ecosystem fragmentation. Okay, so very important to realize. And then here, the solution. I love this. I love when projects, many of them just go, okay, these are the problems, and they don't actually provide a proper solution. But truly, in my opinion, Polygon does. It's absolutely incredible. The ZK rollups, as I was talking about before, the side chains, all these different things, the optimistic rollups. These are all things. I think I did a video on ZK snarks. I've done a video on some of these different things. I can do one on optimistic rollups and side chains and parachains, these different things. But just let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. Polygon, a protocol and a framework for building and connecting Ethereum-compatible blockchain networks. One-click deployment of preset blockchain networks. That is awesome. Very, very plug and play. Growing a set of modules for developing custom networks. Interoperability protocol for exchange arbitrary messages with Ethereum and other blockchain networks, and then modular and optional security as a service. That's pretty interesting. Then lastly, adapter modules for enabling interoperability for existing blockchain networks, okay? So they lay out all the features here. It's very, very simple. The user experience, the developer experience. The developer experience, I think, is one of the best, honestly. That you have Solidity programming language for the Ethereum ecosystem, but this even makes it easier, and it's equivalent to Ethereum. You really don't need, like it says here, you don't need to necessarily know the technical things. It's a bit more plug and play. You can think about it like coding a website versus something like WordPress or something like Wix or Squarespace, right? So these essentially take all these coding things, where in the past you had to hire a coder or a developer to build a website for you. Now you can literally just drag and drop, and it's very plug and play. Then you have interoperability. So working with all different ecosystems, I love that. I love that. I love that. You have scalability, security, sovereignty. Those are things that typically projects talk about. I have a Gochi, Polymarket. I love it. We actually covered some Launchpad projects that are specifically on Polygon. We're doing this Launchpad ecosystem series on the channel, where I'm basically going through all the different Launchpad projects to help you get in early on kind of new altcoins. And now we've already covered Avalanche, we've already covered Polygon, we've already covered Solana, we've already covered Cardano. We're moving into some of these smaller blockchains, and then we'll be talking more about just ETH Layer 1 launchpads and also Binance Smart Chain. So that series is very, very interesting. Be sure to check out the channel and hit the playlist for that one. It's just called like Launchpad Ecosystem Map Series. But the ones here on Polygon are very, very early stage, and I found that very interesting because, again, some people complain about, again, the fees, obviously, but the barrier to entry that you have on some of these more developed Launchpad projects. So little aside there, but moving on. So you can see EasyFi is on here, which has been killing it. Decentraland has been killing it. You can see the top people here. I love it when the team is forward facing. I always talk about this. You can see these are kind of the advisors here, and these are the co-founders. So pretty awesome as far as that goes. Let's move on here to the Web 2.0. So this is where you can actually stake the MATIC token and earn some passive income. You can see the validators here. You can actually become a validator or become a delegator. Just like, I did a video on how to stake Polkadot and walked you guys through like validators and all these different things. You see the total stake there is pretty insane. Total reward distributed is about 293 million MATIC tokens. And you can see here the actual the staking pools you have, the opportunities here. So next on here, these are all the decentralized applications. I did want to run through these. Aave is incredible. I met this incredible kid from Germany when I was back in Tbilisi, Georgia, and he was making a killing off Aave. Just understanding how you're able to essentially utilize these loans. Personally, I'm not basically yield farming is what he was doing. I'll show you a bit more when we go here into the Aave protocol, for example. But I personally do not do this as much. I potentially will have him on this channel to describe some of those things. So Roland, if you're watching, hop on the channel, brother. I would love to have him come on and explain these more things because I don't necessarily have time for these things. I'm always open to learning about them. I'm always curious, but I'm more interested in, like, at least currently I'm traveling and investing more in emerging markets and other things. Although there's so many opportunities in crypto, so I'm always trying to learn these different things. If I can find a good spot for my head here, so I can talk about these. So Polymarket, incredible. So this is more of a market platform. Curve Finance is another one similar to Aave. It's a bit more like stablecoin swap. And I've done a deep dive video on that. We talk about these on our daily series, Daily DeFi, basically tracking all the top decentralized finance projects. And Aave has really taken that number one spot. It was number 3 for a long time. Maker was up there. That was just consistently that one by total value locked in. That's the metric you're using. And then the second one would be Compound. And then after that, it was Aave. So next, Quick Swap. So this is similar to something like a Uniswap, but on layer 2, which is pretty awesome, incredibly low fees. SushiSwap is obviously on here. 1inch, a decentralized exchange aggregator. EasyFi, so layer 2 DeFi lending platform. That's another one. SportX is then it gets into things where I'm not as much interested in. Beefy is quite interesting. It's a much higher risk, much higher reward. Same with something like Badger DAO, which I talked about before. It really blew up back when I was in Kosovo. You have Dodo, which is on here. I did a deep dive video on that. Augur, Injective Protocol, pretty awesome. I love it because you're seeing these other projects that are in different ecosystems, but now they're in here, like Polystarter, right? So this is a Polkadot ecosystem launchpad, but it's on layer 2 Ethereum. So that's awesome. Love to see that. CyberFi, big fan of CyberFi. Love Reef, love Ocean Protocol. There's so many great projects on here. This really makes me happy to see that this kind of and it keeps going. It's pretty crazy, right? The lower you go, kind of the lower, lesser known projects it is. But you get the point here. So lastly, kind of as this, lastly, we'll really talk about the MATIC token here, what it's done just on the charts. But I did want to show you this. So if you're on the actual Aave website, which by the way, everything we talk about in today's video will be linked down below in the description. You can see here, so you have the actual like Aave market on Polygon. The market size is around $3.8 billion. Very, very volatile market. You can see native token versus USD, so you can flip it in between these two things. Okay, so you can see the market size of each of these different pools. You can either deposit or borrow. So essentially, what he was doing, the guy that I met in Tbilisi, and I think a lot of other people are doing, is essentially you can borrow some capital, then you can stake it, so you can add it to the pool. You can have this deposit APR. So like, for example, with USDT, it's around 13%. So that's pretty crazy. And then I think there's also like a bonus. Yeah. So you also get the rewards in wrapped MATIC token. And it's just a representation of how these rewards would be doing during a 1 year period. Yeah. So, I mean, you just don't see these type of numbers. And obviously, these are dynamic APYs. So the more capital that's entering, essentially the lower the APY goes, the more capital it leaves, the higher the APY. That's why something like PancakeSwap, I mean, I was getting around 150% APY, and still I'm getting above 100% APY because of this. And you always have to understand when something's above 100% or even like really above 20%, there's a lot of risks involved. You have to understand that nobody else is getting this. Typically, like in legacy finance, if you're just in the stock market, the standard is like 7%. Okay, so lastly here with the MATIC token on CoinGecko, which they changed up their user interface here, which is quite interesting. They switch around some things. I actually like the new user interface. They're competing with CoinMarketCap, who's really, really innovating. I mean, CoinMarketCap has their own native swap now inside of their user interface, which is pretty crazy. So you can literally go on, like it would be like, okay, we're looking at here on CoinGecko, and then there'd be a button that literally says swap. You hook up your Web3 wallet, boom, done. So that's quite interesting. Right around $1 currently. I think our all-time high was around like $2.24, if I remember correctly. Yeah, $2.62. This is rank 17 on about, how many watch lists is this on? I always like to look at that. I don't know if it shows that. Anyways, market cap, $6.6 billion, pretty crazy. 24-hour trading volume, right around $500 million. Circulating to max supply, okay, 6 billion to 10 billion. That's interesting to see. That's basically all for this video. If you have any questions on Polygon, let me know in the comments down below. You can also join the Telegram group, continue the conversations on Polygon. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, button all, invest global, and until next time.